Once upon a time, in a kingdom of silver rivers and singing orchards, there lived Tsar Berendei and his 3 sons. In the palace garden grew an apple tree so lovely that its apples shone like small suns. But one night, a mysterious glow drifted over the walls, and by morning, several golden apples were gone. The Tsar sent guards. They yawned more than they watched. He fretted and would not eat. The eldest son promised, "I will find the thief." He fell asleep on a velvet lawn. The second son tried the next night. He snored like a drum. At last, the youngest, Prince Ivan, slipped into the orchard. He dared not even sit. When drowsiness crept in, he wiped his face with cool dawn dew. Around midnight, a light blossomed above the apple tree. It grew bright as sunrise. There, on a branch, perched the firebird, its feathers shimmering like living flame, pecking at the golden apples. Ivan crept close and caught hold of its tail. The firebird rose with a whoosh and spiraled into the stars, leaving one glittering feather in Ivan's hand. In the morning, Ivan showed his father the feather. The Tsar's sadness eased, yet he could not stop thinking about the firebird, what it was, why it came, what it wanted. He called his sons. "Ride into the world," he said gently. "Seek the firebird. Bring it here so we may understand its ways." They saddled good horses and rode out. The eldest to the east, the second to the west, and Ivan along a winding road that carried him far beyond the edge of every map. On a green meadow stood a stone pillar with words carved upon it. "He who goes straight will be cold and hungry. He who goes right will be safe, but his horse will be lost. He who goes left will be lost, but his horse will be safe." Ivan looked up at the sky, then right. "A horse can be replaced, a life cannot," he said, and turned his reins. He rode one day, and another, and a third. A gray wolf stepped out of the shadow of a spruce, huge and bright-eyed, the kind of creature who knows old stories by heart. "Prince Ivan," it said, "you read the pillar and still came this way. The road keeps its promises. Your horse I must take." The wolf puffed a breath of frost. Ivan's horse shivered, tossed its golden mane, and galloped free into the wilds, quite unharmed but gone. Ivan's shoulders fell. The wolf's ears softened. "I did what the road asked of me," it said. "Now I'll undo what sorrow it caused. Climb on. I will carry you where no map can help." So Ivan held tight, and the gray wolf loped through green forests and along the edges of lakes that shone like mirrors. They came at last to the fortress of Tsar Afron, where a small window glowed in the attic like the ember of a candle. "Listen," said the wolf. "Climb the wall. The guards are asleep. In the window hangs a golden cage, and inside is the firebird. Take the bird gently and hide it beneath your cloak, but do not touch the cage." Ivan slipped over the wall and tiptoed up creaking stairs. The firebird watched him with warm, curious eyes. Ivan whispered, "Forgive me," and the bird hopped to his hand. He tucked it beneath his cloak. Then his gaze fell on the cage. Its bars were threads of sunlight. Jewels winked along its rim. A bird so wonderful should have a home worthy of it, he thought, and reached out. A rattle, a clang, a blare, bells chimed, trumpets pealed, doors flew open. Ivan was brought to Tsar Afron. "I am Prince Ivan, son of Tsar Berendei," Ivan said, honest as any bell. "Then you should have asked," Tsar Afron replied, more disappointed than angry. The firebird ate what it admired, as birds do. Still, to take without a word. Earn my trust, and the firebird and its cage are yours. Bring me the golden-maned horse of Tsar Kuzmin." Ivan bowed and returned to the wolf, cheeks hot with shame. "I told you not to touch the cage," the wolf said, and Ivan lowered his eyes. "I did wrong," he said softly. "Please forgive me." "Learning has teeth," the wolf sighed, but its tail flicked in kindness. On we go. They thundered to Tsar Kuzmin's stables, where the sunlight seemed to gather in the mane of a single horse. "Climb the wall," the wolf murmured. "Lead out the horse, but do not touch the jeweled bridle." Ivan slid into the stable. The golden-maned horse nuzzled his shoulder as if they had known each other for years. Then he saw the bridle, flickering with gems like dew. "It must belong to you," he whispered to the horse, and reached up. Chimes, clatter, footsteps. Ivan stood before Tsar Kuzmin. "To steal a horse is folly," Kuzmin scolded. "Yet your face is honest. Earn my favor, and both horse and bridle are yours. Bring me Princess Helen, daughter of Tsar Dalmat." Ivan's heart pinched. "A person is not a prize," he said. "Nor is a prince above a promise," Kuzmin countered. Ivan brought the news to the wolf. "I won't send you to do this," the wolf said. "I will go. You follow at a distance." They reached Tsar Dalmat's gardens, where Princess Helen walked among roses, laughing with her attendants. The wolf waited until she lagged behind. Then, instead of pouncing, it stepped out and spoke in a voice low and clear. "Princess Helen," it said, "we are in a tangle of promises. A greedy czar wants to trade you like a trinket. Prince Ivan will never force you. If you choose, help us teach the greedy a lesson. You will be honored and kept safe." Princess Helen looked into the wolf's bright eyes, then at Ivan waiting by the gate, hands open, gaze steady. "Very well," she said. "I will help." They hid her in a forest hut. The gray wolf whispered a spell, and before Ivan's astonished eyes became the living image of Princess Helen, from the ribbon in her hair to the music of her steps. "Take me to Kuzmin," said the wolf-turned princess with a grin. Kuzmin clapped his hands with delight. "The horse, the bridle, yours!" he cried, and hurried to celebrate. But when the doors closed and the candles dimmed, the princess yawned and stretched into a wolf, who wagged its tail in Kuzmin's lamplight. Kuzmin yelped, leapt onto a chair, and learned, quite swiftly, that a bride is not a trophy. By morning, the wolf had slipped away and joined Ivan and the real Princess Helen. "Now for Tsar Afron," said the wolf. It whispered another spell, shook itself, and gleamed into the golden-maned horse. Ivan led the shining horse to Afron, who, charmed and wiser now, gave him the firebird in its golden cage. In the forest, the wolf turned back into the wolf and laughed softly. "Reunions," it said, and there was the real golden-maned horse waiting with Princess Helen. Together with the firebird, they started home. "Here we part for a while," said the gray wolf at the edge of a birch wood. "Call if you need me." "Thank you," Ivan said, "for everything." They traveled until noon and stopped by a spring. Ivan drank, shared bread with Helen, and finally, at peace, fell asleep on sweet grass. He did not know that his brothers, empty-handed and dusty from their long search, would come riding by that very path. They drew their horses to a halt. Envy stung like nettles. The firebird glowed in its cage, the golden horse stamped. Princess Helen stood up, calm and unafraid. "Brothers," she said, Do not let jealousy turn you into shadows of yourselves." They did not hurt Ivan, but they took the horse and the bird, and they begged Helen to come, for safety, they said, and to keep peace until we speak to our father. Helen looked at sleeping Ivan, brushed a leaf from his hair, and nodded. "I will go," she said, "but only to make sure no more wrong is done." She tied a blue ribbon to a birch above him, a promise on the wind. When the clearing grew quiet, a crow and her chick fluttered down, pecking curiously. The gray wolf padded out of the trees. "Crow," said the wolf kindly, capturing the chick between careful paws, "fetch me sparkling water and still water, and your little one will be safe." The crow cawed, understood, and soared away. She returned with 2 drops from 2 springs, one that bubbled and sang, one that lay calm and bright. The wolf dabbed still water on the small scrapes on Ivan's hands, and they healed. Then it sprinkled his brow with sparkling water. Ivan sat up with a gasp. "I dreamed the wind carried everything away," he said. "It nearly did," said the wolf. "Your brothers have hurried home with your prizes and your friend. Come." They flew over fields until they spied the brothers on the road. The wolf slowed to a trot and stepped into their path. The golden-maned horse nickered. The firebird rustled its feathers. Princess Helen lifted her chin. "Time to tell the truth," said the wolf. The brothers slid from their saddles, faces pale. "We were wrong," said the eldest, voice small. "We saw what you had done and feared we would never be seen as worthy," said the middle one. "We took what was not ours." Ivan looked at them. His hands trembled with hurt and anger, but he remembered the glow of the golden apples and the warmth of the firebird's gaze. He remembered his own mistakes and the wolf's forgiveness. He breathed in, breathed out, and nodded once. "Come with us," he said. "We will speak together before our father." They arrived at the palace. Tsar Berendei listened to the tale, the glimmering bird, the riddled road, the greedy bargains, the lessons in the dark, the ribbon on the birch, the brother's confession. He was stern, for kings are keepers of fruit and fairness, but he was also wise. "My sons," he said, "envy is a thief that steals from the heart. Make it right." The brothers bowed to Ivan and to Helen. "Forgive us," they said. "We will earn your trust." And so the Tsar sent them on a long, gentle labor to plant apple saplings in every village, to tend them until children could pick fruit without climbing ladders, and to tell what envy taught them. As for the firebird, Ivan opened the door of the golden cage. "You may fly when you wish," he said. The firebird hopped to the threshold, looked at the sky, then at Ivan, and settled on his arm with a contented trill. It had a home and a friend now, and the apples ripened untroubled. The golden-maned horse danced in the courtyard, and Princess Helen laughed. "You asked for my help," she said, "and you kept your word." Ivan smiled, blush blooming on his cheeks. "I learned to listen," he said, "and to ask." They were married beneath the apple boughs. The gray wolf watched from the shadow of a lilac bush, tail sweeping the grass like a metronome. When the musicians played, the wolf tipped back its head and sang a note so pure that all the lanterns shivered with light. In the seasons that followed, the orchard grew heavy with fruit. The firebird sometimes perched on the highest branch and lit the night. Travelers could read their maps by its glow. People told stories about a prince who made mistakes and made them right, about a princess who chose to help, about brothers who learned to plant more than they took, and about a wolf who kept his promises. And if you ever pass a crossroads where an old pillar is carved with choices, you will know to choose the road that keeps a life and teaches the heart. For courage is not the absence of fear, and kindness is not weakness. They are the light that leads you home. They lived happily and thoughtfully ever after.
Thanks for watching.